Hi, good afternoon. My name is Adrian Bautista, and welcome to the virtual Brown Bag series event. And we're so glad that you're here to join us. Today, we have a very special speaker joining us and sharing with us his journey toward keys to leading teams, project managers' tales from the road. Looking forward to that. But I do want to do a few housekeeping items prior to our discussion, our talk today. If you have questions or if you would like to throw some comments toward our presenter, you can place those in the Q&A portion of our chat here. We will be looking at that, and we will be taking time throughout the presentation to stop and answer and address some of those questions you might have. So please make sure that you type those into the chat. Additionally, my colleague Tanya is going to be posting the link to our website where we have other discussions and talks, and you can see the upcoming topics that we have. This is a very unique program, and we want to support it, and we want to continue to connect you with individuals and various speakers and topic series that are going to be of benefit to you. That being said, it's my honor to be able to present to you Jeremy Wyndham. Jeremy works with Jacobs Engineering and has more than 25 years of experience in the engineering analysis, design, and reporting writing space, where he has also focused on report writing for sites, corridors, and regions. Jeremy has led significant projects that involve traffic engineering, transport planning, alternatives analysis, traffic signal design, as well as a heavy background in value engineering, traffic signal operations, ITS design, schematic design, and environmental document preparation. Having led projects of varying size and complexity, Jeremy specializes in presenting complex analysis and results to various audiences, managing teams of professionals and building consensus around sustainable and resilient solutions for transportation challenges. His projects have included the evaluation of innovation intersections and interchanges, including the first single-point urban exchange, SPUI, in Texas, which is located at US 75 and Parker Road in Plano. Jeremy is active in professional and community organizations, including the South Texas chapter of the Institute of Transportation Engineers, SAVE International, the American Council of Engineering Companies, the San Antonio Mobility Coalition, and the North San Antonio Chambers of Commerce. His wife, Beth, is a priest in the Episcopal Church who works at St. Nicholas Episcopal Church in Bulverde, Texas. Beth and Jeremy have 2 adult sons. Welcome, Jeremy. We are so excited that you're with us today, and we look forward to hearing you present on your Tales from the Road. Take it away.
Thank you, Adrian. I'd like to first thank you and Tanya for inviting me to do this. I'm excited to talk to students and people that are looking at careers in any field, including engineering and architecture. Project management is one of the things that is near and dear to my heart. Because the accomplishments that you mentioned are a team effort. It's not just one person, that's what I'd like to talk to all of you today about is the some lessons that I've learned in terms of forming teams and having teams that function well and get the job done for our clients. Assume that you can all see my screen, so I'll jump right into it. So my topic is keys to leading teams. And I'm going to cover a few things here. What I'd like to do is cover these fairly quickly so that there's plenty of time for questions and answers at the end. And then I do have a question near the beginning of this presentation that I'm hoping you all will answer in the Q&A section, so I can kind of repeat some of those answers that you all have. At Jacobs, we like to start with safety. Many of you may have heard that November 2 of the year 2000 was the last deathless day on Texas roadways. Ever since that date, there's been at least one death from traffic crashes on the Texas highways. So that's 21 years in a row of daily deaths on the highways here. So what can we do about this? Whenever you get out on the road, think of your loved ones. Think of getting home to them safely. And so driving defensively, is key to that. Eliminating distractions when driving. I know it's tempting to answer that call or answer that text or look at that email, but it's just not worth it. So keeping your focus on the road and on the other cars will help you get home safely. And then spreading the word. I would ask that all of you check out the TechStock website in the Street, Texas, and spread the word on trying to end this horrible streak of deaths on Texas roads. On to more pleasant topics. The first thing I'd like to cover in terms of building a good team is in being inclusive. And so my first question to you all is, if you are forming a team to work for a client or a project or a school project, why do you want the best team? So I'd like to ask you to put your answers into the Q&A section, and I'll see if I can read some of those off. Don't be shy. Okay, well, while y'all are thinking, I'll give you some thoughts of mine. I always want to have the best team put together so that I can serve my clients well, so that I can have come up with great different solutions to solving the problem. Here's one. Get the best results for the project. That's a great one. So you want to look at all sorts of different alternatives, different ways of solving the problem. Analyze those alternatives against each other and come up with the best possible solution for your project or for your client, so that work flows as efficiently as possible. That's another answer. That's absolutely correct. We owe it to our clients to work as efficiently as possible, so because we're spending their money and we're spending in many cases the public's tax dollars, so we want to make sure we work efficiently as possible. For a couple more minutes, see if there's any other thoughts on why we want to have the best team.
And while we're
Well, Adrian,
more
yeah.
responses,
Yeah.
Can you take a quick moment to maybe expound on what you mean by the best team? Would it be the most efficient team? Would it be the most innovative team? How would you define the best team?
Yeah, I would define it in all those ways and more. You want it to be efficient. You want it to be innovative. You want it to be highly skilled. You want it to be a team that has an open mind to look at different ways of solving things. So those are all, and I intentionally didn't define it because I think it can mean different things to different people. But essentially, the answers that we're getting here are absolutely correct. We want to give the best results. We want to work efficiently, find the best solution. So these are all excellent. So why do we want? Okay, so the best teams, and this has been proven in many studies, and I've got some references here. The best teams have diversity of thought. So bringing different ideas to the problem that you're dealing with, looking at different solutions, being able to test those solutions. So you want to have diversity of thought within your team. Diversity of thought naturally comes from diversity of backgrounds. If your team is made up of entirely people from one university, you're not going to have a lot of diversity of backgrounds. If your team similarly is made up of people from the same ethnicity, the same gender, you're not going to have the same diversity of backgrounds. So diversity of backgrounds brings diversity of thought. And this is critical here. Inclusion leads to diversity. So while sometimes diversity is sort of considered a goal, one of the best ways to have a diverse team is by being inclusive, by listening to the different thoughts that come into your meetings, into your project. to honor those different thoughts and give them some time to really percolate and affect the outcome of the project. Here are some references, and I'm happy to provide this slide deck to Adrian so he can make this available to all of you. But there's some great articles and books that have been written about why heterogeneous teams make better decisions. So the statement about giving the best solution to your client, you want the best decisions within your team in order to make the best recommendations to your client. I won't dwell on these, but there's lots of neat studies that have really showed that having a diverse team can lead to better projects and better decisions. Next, I'm going to shift over to the leader. This is an idea that, and I've got the credits down at the bottom, related to how one can be an effective leader of a team. So there's two parts to what we call the T-shaped leader. There's the vertical portion of the T, which is focused on execution. So looking within your team, looking within yourself to make sure that that you've got the expertise in the appropriate technical areas, that you've got the folks on your team that can provide the expertise, and that's where the execution focus is. But you also, as a leader, you want to think strategically as well. So one of the things that I do a lot within Jacobs, even though I'm working on a transportation project, I want to look at where are some other ways that we can help our clients. So I look at adjacent types of services that we provide, whether those are cost estimating services or planning services or site development or drainage and other types of development. So if you're thinking just on the execution, you might miss some of the strategic focus as well. So, and one of the other benefits of being a T-shaped leader is you help your team to understand how their specific part fits into the overall project as well. So looking for adjacencies. The next thing I'd like to cover is leadership shadow. This is a way of looking at your consistency as a leader. So the four things that you want to ask yourself as a leader is how much do what I say, what I do, what I prioritize, and what I measure, how do those things, how are they consistent between, or do you have areas where what you say is not congruent with what you do, or what you do is not congruent with what you prioritize? It's impossible to be completely congruent in all of those things, but if you are, as a leader, if you're thinking about being as congruent as possible between those four areas, that's going to make you a very effective leader. It'll make you a leader that is trusted and a leader that is very effective. So thinking about that, thinking about where your incongruencies are and working on those is a good way to be an effective leader of a team. And then the last thing I'm going to cover is what we call a calling or a purpose narrative. This is, who are you and what are you here for? Whom do you serve? And why are you doing what you're doing? And this purpose narrative is driven by sort of four areas. Starting in the upper left, what is the context? What is happening in the world that creates an opportunity for what you're doing? And then the upper right is your capability. What are you uniquely good at? What is your area of strength, or what are your areas of strength? And then the lower right is caring. When you look inside, what do you care about? How does that affect your purpose? And then finally, the lower left is focused on your customer. What do they need from you? And so when you answer all of those questions and kind of see where they overlap with each other, that's where you can really find your calling. What is your purpose in your career? So those are just some things to think about as you move into your careers and you start leading, whether starting with small teams to big teams to groups within a technical area or multidiscipline groups. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to any questions that you all have.
Yes, if you have any questions, please make sure that you take a moment right now to type them into our Q&A. We'll be looking to answer some of those questions, and we'll wait a couple of moments for those to come through.
That's a good one. So what somebody asked, could you provide an example of when you weren't a T-shaped leader? Sure. I mean, early in my career, and this is all of these things are things that I've learned over the course of my career. So early in my career, I was very focused on just traffic engineering, and so I didn't really think about other aspects of projects. I was focused on being really good at that one thing, which is fine early in one's career, but it certainly didn't make me a good leader. Because I wasn't thinking about the adjacencies. I was thinking about how my design or my study would affect other parts of an overall project. So that was certainly something that I learned over time on how to be more effective in my leadership. Yeah, I think this one may be related to the previous question. And how not being a T-shaped leader impacted your project results. So I can't think of any specifics on how it affected the project results. Certainly, if someone's in a leadership role of a multidisciplinary project and they are not a T-shaped leader, if they're only focusing in their area of expertise, then that will affect project results. So, if I was leading a project that involved buildings and roadways and drainage and utilities, and I was just focused on transportation, that would mean that the other disciplines were not getting enough of my attention. So that would certainly affect project results, especially with multidisciplinary teams. If you're not thinking of the adjacencies, of the impacts of one particular area of work, that will definitely affect other areas of work. One thing that comes to mind that's a very effective tool on these multidisciplinary projects is what we call an interdisciplinary review. And that is when you get to a certain place in a project, everyone prints out their plans or provides their plans in PDF online, and the other disciplines look at your plans. So the drainage folks will look at the roadway plans. The roadway folks will look at the site civil or the building plans, and they'll see where there might be some things that could cause issues, like a driveway that's placed too close to an intersection, or a road that's too close to a drainage pond, things like that. Those can often be caught in these interdisciplinary reviews. So that's a tool that helps the entire team and certainly the project manager to think more broadly of the adjacencies. So here's a good one. What does it take to move from being just a worker to a lead worker and finally becoming a project manager? That's a great question, and it's one that anyone coming out of school is going to be thinking about. So some of it is experience. I've talked to people that want to be a project manager straight out of school, and I usually caution them that that's not typically what happens. That you you work in your field, you gain experience, you gain leadership skills, and then you're asked to manage projects. And it happens at different rates for different people depending upon their skills. But if you're thinking like a T-shaped leader early on, and you're thinking of the other disciplines as well as the discipline that you're working in, that will show the people that you work for and with that you're thinking much bigger picture than your current work. And as long as you're doing your current work well, which is pretty important too, that's a good way to grow over time and to show others that you're interested in growing towards leading teams and projects. I don't know the thought there. Oh yeah, and also being willing, saying yes whenever you have an opportunity put in front of you, as long as it makes sense for other reasons. But when you're given an opportunity to stretch, really you should take those seriously and seriously consider saying yes. I've said yes a lot in my career, and I've gotten to work on really cool projects all over the world, and it's been stressful, but it's helped me grow in my skills, and it's really helped in my career as well.
Fantastic. That looks like it was a good round of questions. Do you want to continue on?
Sorry, what was the question, Adrian?
That was a good round of questions and some really profound insight. I think it's good. Do you want to continue on with your presentation?
Sure. I mean, that was what I had. Here's my contact information. If any of you think of a question later on that you want to ask me, I would welcome those questions. And then I'm happy to hang out for a bit on this call if there are any other questions that you all think of in the meantime. But I'm on LinkedIn. I put my cell phone number on there and my email address. And I'm a UTA graduate. I don't know if Adrian mentioned that, but I graduated back in the 90s. So I'm very proud of my time at UTA Arlington. I always like to help out UTA students.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to share with us. I mean, open up about your leadership approach and your experience. We are grateful for you as a UTA alum, as you mentioned, and we're especially glad that you're making yourself available to open the doors for other UTA students who might be looking at this presentation right now. I encourage you all to connect with Jeremy through LinkedIn or reach out to him via email, and just continue to reach out and just pursue those partnerships. Our alumni definitely care about our students, and they care about the university and making sure that they want to help us. So I appreciate Jeremy, and thank you so much for your time again. I know you're a very, very busy professional, but this means a lot to us. And I don't have anything additional to add to our conversation today, but Jeremy, we're going to hang out for just a few more minutes to see if we get any more questions. But otherwise, thanks again for being a part of this very special presentation today.
I appreciate the invite and the good questions that you all have asked so far. Forward to answering any more that you have, either now or later.
Thank you. All right. Well, that being said, please take a moment to jot down his email. This concludes today's virtual Brown Bag Series conversations and talks. Thanks for attending and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone. Good to talk to you.